Hey guys and girls, my name's Alan and welcome to today's gameplay commentary. So as you can see, we're about to do a bit of Uncharted 4 multiplayer, but I don't know if you just clocked it then, if you've got a really keen eye, but basically some of the characters are still locked, and the reason why they're still locked is because this is some very old gameplay. How old, you might be asking? Well, over a year old. So this was recorded August last year, and you might be wondering why I'm using some really old footage. Well, there's two reasons. The first one is it's actually covering a topic that I haven't talked about yet, and I just thought that the gameplay suited it quite well, so I figured why not use it. And secondly, I'm in the process of clearing out hard drive space to prepare for Survival Arena and also The Lost Legacy, which is coming out next week. So if you haven't heard yet, for whatever reason, Survival Arena is a variation of Survival for Uncharted 4, and basically, whereas Survival is fixed, stages 1 through 10, the same objectives every single wave, and blah blah blah. Arena is a randomized version of that. Now, if you want more information about what's included and all the rest of it, I have done a stream summary of the Twitch stream that Naughty Dog hosted regarding Survival Arena. So head over to Acorn Vision. I will link the description. I will link the video in the description. I will also link it on the screen now. So head over there, check it out if you want to find out all the information. It is apparently dropping next week. I believe it's Tuesday, but it does depend on where you live for The Lost Legacy. So it's to coincide with The Lost Legacy release, but The Lost Legacy release is on the 23rd in America, and then, sorry, all the way around. 22nd in America and 23rd in Europe. They didn't mention any other countries specifically, but let's assume that America is 22nd and the rest of the world 23rd. I mean, it would be kind of sucky if other countries had to wait a bit longer, but so the 22nd, 23rd, maybe 24th. I don't know if they've specifically made a date for other countries, but anyway, as I said, check out the video if you're interested to know more about Arena. So I will talk more about Arena in a minute. In fact, I don't know, should I do it first? Okay, let's do it first while it's fresh in my mind. So, really excited, really happy to see Arena come back. As I talked about in that stream summary video, it's different. It's not the same. It's not the same as Arena as Uncharted 2 or Uncharted 3. It's completely different. And as I was saying in that video, I sort of need to get into that mindset that it's not going to be the same. And if I keep comparing the games together, I'm always going to be disappointed. And watching the trailer, there is also a trailer out for Arena, by the way, if you haven't seen it yet. It's not great in my opinion, but again, if you want to know more about it, then check it and then you can see for yourself. And the reason why I think it's not great is because I did a video a couple of days ago basically talking about the stuff I didn't want to see come into Arena and the stuff I did want to see come back to Arena. And that trailer was basically a checklist of all the stuff I didn't want to see. So I was very disappointed having seen that trailer. I mean, the trailer itself wasn't bad in terms of it was put together quite well, but the stuff it showed it didn't appeal to me whatsoever. So that's why I didn't really rate it that much. Having said that, if I based my opinions only on that trailer, I probably wouldn't be getting the DLC because I wouldn't be interested in it whatsoever. I say DLC, it's a free update for everyone, by the way. Whether you own Uncharted 4 multiplayer or The Lost Legacy, you're going to play in the same player base, the same pool, so that's kind of good. Hopefully they bring back some players, hopefully we get an increase of new players, and just people enjoying co-op in general. What was I saying? So yeah, as I said, the trailer itself didn't appeal to me, so if I just base it on that alone, I probably would not be excited for the game mode. But I watched the stream, I watched them play an entire match, and from what I saw, it looks kind of fun. Obviously, I'm tempering my expectations because what happened with Survival was when it first came out all those months ago, I was really hyped for it, and then I realised it was this whole different thing that I wasn't really interested in. I don't really care about setting fast times or anything like that. I like a challenge, I like a bit of variety, and I just want to have fun, and I don't have to worry about too much about bringing on the best players to set the best times. And obviously with Survival, I mean, the early stages are really easy, so you don't have to worry about it too much. But stage 8, stage 10, in fact, anything north of stage 5, you've got to play a certain way, especially on crushing, and certain players just aren't good enough. I hate to say it, but they're just not good enough to play on those waves, on those stages, and then you get frustrated because obviously, you're doing your bit, but maybe they're not doing their bit, and matches just get dragged out, and it's just not fun. I don't like it. I mean, when you're playing with friends, it's okay, but when you're playing with pubs, and I mainly play pubs because that's where I play most of my games. I can party up sometimes, and I do party up sometimes, but for the majority of the time, I'd say a good 80%, I play on my own. Why? Because, well, for starters, I play some really random ass times. Like sometimes I can play in the afternoon, sometimes I can play in the evening, sometimes I play late in the evening, sometimes I play like past midnight, early morning. I don't plan it basically. I just play whenever I play. It's really bad. I should really have a schedule, but that's just the way it is. So that's why I don't really party up that much. But also I enjoy the playing with pubs. I enjoy meeting new people. Obviously when they're terrible then it's not such a great experience, but when you I don't know, it's hard to explain, and I guess I haven't really talked about it in the past, but when I was playing Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3, and it's not just Uncharted games, but like multiplayer in general as well, I always play with pubs, mostly play with pubs. And I don't know, it's just the feeling of teaming up with players who have, you know, similar sort of skill, and you help each other out, and you complete the match. And when you get through situations where you haven't verbally communicated, but your actions have supported each other, I don't know, it just feels good, you know, to beat a map like that. And as I said, it's fine when you're playing with friends, you're communicating. It's a different kind of fun. But I get the most enjoyment from playing with randoms and successfully completing, you know, overcoming a really tough challenge together. That's where I get most of my enjoyment from, which is why I play pubs mainly. And survival doesn't really cater to that. Not on crushing, and definitely not the latter waves, and definitely not the boss waves. As I said, stage 8, stage 10, playing with pubs who don't know what they're doing, who are all, or worst case scenario, bad even, then it's just awful. It's just really, really awful. And it's just not fun. And so I think Arena is going to be different. That's the point I'm trying to make. So whereas survival is very structured, and you have a set goal, and you have to do things not necessarily a certain way, but in order to achieve the best times, then, you know, pretty much you're going to follow a certain path, because if you deviate from it, you're not going to get a really good time, therefore you're not going to get the stars. And for most people, the only reason they play or continue to play is to set better times or to get the missing stars, which again, once you've got, you know, you really care about. And I as I said before in the past, there's not a lot of replay value in survival, the stages, that is. So one of the things that they talked about Arena was that there's going to be a lot of variety. They mentioned 130 wave types. I mean, I'm a bit dubious about the 130 number. I reckon it's going to be 130 different variations of existing waves. So you might get assassination, but there'll be like 10 versions of assassination or something like that. I don't think there's actually 130 unique waves. If there are, then that would be amazing. But if there isn't, then, you know, it's still more fun, I think, because of the random nature of the waves rather than the structure of stages 1 through 10. And again, one of the things that they were keen to highlight during the stream is that even though you might get the same wave, not necessarily consecutively, because if there are literally 130 waves, the chance of you getting the same objective one after the other is quite slim. But let's say you get Siege on the map. So you get Siege wave 1 and then you get Siege wave 10. I don't know if you can actually get it with Siege Wave 10, but assuming you get Siege twice in the same match, the chances are it's going to be different Siege zones. So even though it's the same objective, it's going to be set in a different location, therefore offer a different challenge, and you have to think a bit more on your feet. And obviously, you don't know to just run to a certain location, which is basically what survival is all about. You knew what was coming up, so you were basically there before the countdown timer even started, which was really boring and mundane. So I'm hopeful for Arena, but again, if, like me, you're really expecting to play something like Uncharted 2 and Uncharted 3 co-op again, I don't think it's going to happen. I genuinely do not think it's going to happen. Again, adventure, they didn't talk about it at all. I mean, okay, so they might be working on it but not talking about it. But I just get the sense that once the Lost Legacy is done, I don't think they're going to really update multiplayer that much more. I mean, there is always a chance that they could remaster Uncharted 2 and Uncharted 3 multiplayer. I mean, they did the main campaigns. I guess that was to sort of sell Uncharted 4, but I imagine, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like if they remastered 2 and 3, multiplayer that is in co-op, then I think a lot of people would be happy about that. Maybe it's just me, but I don't know, let me know in the comment section below. Would you like to see Uncharted 3, Uncharted 2 come back, the multiplayer remastered? I'd go as far as to say that I'd be willing to pay for that as a separate, like how they're charging for the Lost Legacy. I would probably be willing to pay maybe a little bit less, like 20 quid or something, for Uncharted 2 and Uncharted 3 multiplayer remastered with all the DLC and everything, for access for everyone who's got it as soon as they get it. I would probably pay for that. I really would. But I don't know, maybe Uncharted 4's co-op arena, survival arena rather, will fill the void that I'm missing, especially now that Mass Effect Andromeda's sort of just fallen off a cliff and I don't really care to chase it. So I don't know, I need a co-op fix. I've been saying it for months, I've been saying it for years even, and unfortunately it seems as though I've just been disappointed of late with games. Mass Effect 3 multiplayer was great, I had a lot of fun in that, and I was fully hyped for MEA MP, and it just let me down so bad. And then Survivor came out for Uncharted 4, and again I was hyped for that, and that let me down pretty bad as well. Not as bad as Mass Effect, but still pretty bad. So yeah, I don't know, I just hope it's good. I'm really wishing it is good. And not too long now to wait, a few days. I will of course be posting plenty of footage to the channel. I'll be giving you my first impressions and all the rest of it. And if I enjoy it, then I'll be continuing to play it for a long time. If I don't enjoy it, well, I don't know. We'll hopefully let's keep things positive. We'll cross that bridge as and when. And of course, I will be posting a full gameplay walkthrough of The Lost Legacy to my players channel. So if you want to watch me play through it for the first time with live commentary, then check out that channel. I'll probably post about it and talk about it on this channel at some point anyway, but that's where I'm going to be posting. I'm not going to be posting it here. I'm going to be posting it on my players channel, which is linked in the description. Alright, so okay, didn't really talk about the topic I was going to talk about today that much, but I guess you've seen the gameplay. So the topic that I was going to talk about today is being a medic in Uncharted 4. Now, because this is really old gameplay, you might have noticed as well that the teams are 4v4, which at the start of the game made for really intense matches. And if you were a good player, or you had good players on one side and the other team didn't have such good players, you would absolutely dominate, and I mean literally dominate the opposite team. Which of course was great if you're on the winning side, but really sucky if you're on the losing side. I mean, I was watching through some of my old matches, as I say, clearing out hard drive space, and even though I wasn't physically playing, I could still feel the frustration that I would have experienced during that match, because of the fact that 2 out of the 4 players on my team just weren't very good, and the opposite team had a full party, or had 4 players who were equal skill. And even though they might have been individually not as good, they were still winning because they had the greater numbers. It was basically a 4v2 because the 2 on our team weren't doing a lot of work or were just constantly dying or whatever. So, I mean, in some ways I do miss it because it was really intense, and as I said, when you're doing well, you could do really well. But again, when you're doing bad, you could do really bad as well. So I think it was probably a good decision to make it 5v5. I do feel sometimes less frustrated. When it's a 5v4, for example, you have more of a fighting chance, where if it's a 4v3, it's very difficult to win those sort of situations. And I guess one of the things I was trying to talk about at the start of the video is that because the teams were so small and every player counted, being a medic back then, I think was a lot more defined as a role. And I mean, you'll see in a minute how many revives I get. I mean, I don't want to brag, but I probably helped the team quite a lot by picking them up that many times, keeping us in the match. I mean, it was close throughout the entire game. You've seen that for yourself. I should have got a second cap. I don't know why the idol respawned. They had like another second to go. I was standing right next to it and I couldn't pick it up, so should have got the second cap there. Had the enemy team scored another one and made it 1-1, this probably would have ended a draw, but we should have won because of that. But yeah, so it was very back and forth, and as you can see, they picked up 13 revives. The player on the opposite team actually also did a similar sort of role. I didn't see as many of his med packs or anything go flying around, but I did watch the footage back, and he did use the Jintamani Stone a couple of times, so that's how he got some of his revives. As for my other mystical, because this footage is quite old now, this was before they nerfed the Jintamani Stone and the Indra's Eternity. So you used to have 2 of each. That's what you got for your money. So as you saw there, I was trying to complete a challenge, so towards the end I was just spamming them all over the place, and that's how I did a lot of my challenges back in the day. Just bought them and spammed them because that was the quickest way of doing it rather than just using them in the match. Anyway, so that's the end of today's video. I was hoping to talk more about being a medic, but I guess, as I said, you managed to see that from the footage itself. One of the things I was keen to talk about before I got sidetracked is that, as I said, being a medic has sort of diluted a little bit because of the way the game has changed, at least in my opinion, for games like Plunder. But it's still a very valid role. I mean, I didn't quite take point in this match the whole way through, but I managed to get a decent amount of kills. I helped the team out. I even got a cap. I should have got a second cap. So yeah, I mean, if killing isn't your forte, that's fine. You could be a support player. And sometimes, being that guy who's always got your team's back, always there to pick them up when they need to be picked up, just providing cover fire, so they can get closer to the objective or get to safety or whatever. That's an important role, and I don't see that many good medics in multiplayer. And I don't know if it's because obviously there's not as many people playing these days, or maybe generally it's just not a favoured role, because obviously when you've got things like the med pack and the Jintamani Stone, you have to sacrifice things like the grenade and maybe an attacking sidekick or maybe an attacking mystical, So anyway, that's what I wanted to share today. I probably should stop talking now because the footage is long finished. So yeah, as per usual, if you enjoy the content, consider tapping that like button. I really do appreciate it. And if you've got any thoughts you'd like to share with me regarding the role of medics in multiplayer at the moment, or maybe how it's changed over the course of the year. And of course, if you want to share any thoughts or initial feelings regarding the stuff you've seen concerning Survival Arena, let me know in the comment section below. I'd be interested to hear them. So until next time, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, take care, and I will see you later.